Hello YouTube fans, here again. I remember doing this, that being the third one, but on Thunderdome. Why not this one? The classic Mad Max, back in 1979. Mad Max, starring our mate Mel Gibson. Now, for people who may or may not know this, Mel Gibson, as we all know, was an Australian actor. We all know that. And he was doing a lot of Australian pole dams, even a rip-off of Piss and Self Buckets, because there was a male version of Piss and Self Buckets, and was also in the Sulliphans. He was a tiny Australian actor at that time. At that time he was in his 20s and he was pretty long. And, we did a lot of TV films, one being Gold Tim, very good film. But again, made for TV. So he was a tiny actor. He was like, who can tell? But this was definitely the film that launched his career. Before he made it big with films, let's say, like Lethal Weapon and the Lethal Weapon movies, he did this one, that being Mad Max. And it's a good one. Now, have you ever seen any of the original art covers? None of them, and I mean none of them, look bugger all like Mel Gibson. But definitely saw that he was starting out at this time, and it was basically based on comic books, and it was, you could say, it was one of the very early topical dying out universe. You could say the film is based on the future, and anyone knows Mad Max knows what I mean. It was a futuristic, violent world. Right, going with the bloody story. So you've got Mel Gibson as a cop. This was a game, wasn't humorous like the Lethal Weapon films. It was a car cop, and it's more in the future of cheat time. Street time, I should pronounce it right. Street time, where you get people who could rob you, kill you, and rob your car and leave you for fucking dead. Now you could get a main villain, and this was before Knight Rider ever came out, the TV series, and the villain is called Knight Rider. So you got the main villain, right, who is riding a car, bashing through cars, and basically being a nuisance. You get little bits here and there, but again, you don't see the die. That being our mate Mad Max. But so he's driving the car and dies really off his fucking head. All you hear is, I am the Knight Rider. I am the king of the road. But long and behold, Mad Max gets the better of him and kills the fucker, blows the car up, and that's when you get the fulfillment of our mate Mel Gibson. Now, there are bits, I will say, what fingers me, because it always sounds to me like Mel Gibson, that's Mel Gibson, his voice sounds like it's dubbed. I'm not making this up. Have you ever heard Mel Gibson's voice in any of the Mad Max films? His bloody voice sounds dubbed. I mean, it sounds dubbed. And there's a reason for that, because it was dubbed. Most of the Australian actors, when they heard this in America, for some reason, the Americans never got the Aussie accent, so they actually dubbed their voices. So the first Mad Max film, always to me, sound like that this Mel Gibson. Sounds like his freaking voice is dubbed. Now, he has a mate in it called Deuce, and these other guys now are like these bikers, are like the main villains. They are the main bloody villains in the film, right? And they want the revenge because of Knight Rider. You know what I mean? And the character Max, he's got a kid and he's got his wife, right? Again, you get a few Aussie actors. You might have seen them in other soaps, whether it would be Piss and Self Buckets, and other Australian soaps at that time. It's definitely Australian. So you got the baddies who are on bikes, so basically terrorising and attacking people. And they get Deuce, who's Mel Gibson's mate, and they burn him. I'm not making this up, they burn him. Now I do like this because I do think it's professionally done. Because Max, again, played by Mel Gibson, goes to visit his mate. You do get his arm dropped down, but you don't see a lot. You don't really see a lot. You can put it in your head that he's badly burnt to a fucking tisp and he's in a coma on his way out. I do like the bit where Matt says, that is not Deuce. That is definitely not Deuce. But this, you do actually hate the villains. You hate them because you know at this point they're going to be after Max for revenge over Knight Rider. So him and his wife, they go out on a caravan and they stay somewhere. But the villains know that because they get gassed up by Dave, who's a car mechanic. And they go after his wife, they go after the kid. And this is a bit of a ballsy film when you think about it. It is a ballsy fucking film because you think they're not going to get it, and it's taken with a motorbike, right? You've got one of the actors, you might remember her being in Prison Soap, okay, it's one who ever played Alyssa, she's in the film, and they ride the motorbikes, again, you don't see it, it's a mappy, it's angled the right way, they run over Mel Gibson's wife, well, his character's wife, that being Max's wife, and they run over his kid. You got the idea the kid's got killed, naturally so, it's only a toddler. And that my dog is getting on my nerves. And they run over his wife. Now his wife at the time is in a coma, but you got the idea she's going to die. The doctor states she's fine, but he overhears it. So what does he do? What does he do? He goes after sweet revenge. At this point, it is a revenge film. So he goes after them. I do admit, I felt he could have done more to the bits where he goes after the villains. He gets information on the one who's dashed him up, and he goes after the villains. Goes after the main villain, he's a total psycho, the one on the motorbike, the one who goes. And after knocking all the villains over, there's a bit in it where Matzo gets wounded. You think he's a donor, he gets shot in the leg, which also seems to have a limp, which you get to find that out more in the sequels. They're about to run him over, but Matt's being a badass, gets the better, shoots all the fuckers up, gets back in his car, knocks the main villain to a tuck, and he gets killed. But I do love the fact he gets revenge on one of them who's a bit of a nutter. He gets him, gets handcuffs, puts them on the main villain's leg, and says, right, see this here, this is a lighter. You've got so long to cut through the bar for your leg. If you do it, you're free. If you don't, you're dead. The villain that does is a dickhead. Because he goes, oh, we're going to beat you. And you don't see it again, angled the right way. The car tires off. You hear an explosion. You get the idea that the villain, the bad guy, didn't get out of it. He's a goner. Tires off, right in the dark. Beautiful ending. And it ends. But the first Mad Max film, if you're going into it for action and all that, you're going to be disappointed. But I do actually like some of the car chase scenes. I do admit, a lot of good stunts done professionally on this shitty CDR. See, that's one of my issues with the Fury Road. The Fury Road. Fury Road, in my eyes, it was all CDR. CDR. This was done by real stunts, real car chases. How alone to go back in them golden days. But Mad Max, back in 1979, it was a bid hit film. Made lots of money. It was a bid hit. Made definitely a lot of money. Made 2 more sequels, that being The Road Warriors. Also, the one I reviewed, Beyond Thunderdome. It made them all. So that was the original, the classic Mad Max. Into then, I'll see you soon.